When you live in New York City, you live in a place that prioritizes social justice. And hey, someone has to redistribute the wealth around. It's not going to share itself. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radeski here of wearechange.org. And man, oh man, do we have some absolutely wacky, crazy things happening in our society right now that are absolutely worth paying attention to. As of course, there's a lot of very important domestic issues that hopefully we have time to get into, as we're going to be mainly focusing on some troubling geopolitical foreign policy news, as we just had a major event that could trigger some major global consequences for everyone. The situation is not looking good, and we're going to tell you exactly why that is in this particular video. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing right now, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, and the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is it looks like by just some random New Yorker documenting a very culturally enriching, diverse exchange on the New York City public transit system that highlights the very serious consequences that average, honest, blue-collar workers have to deal with because of the woke, insane policies put in by district attorneys that were financed by a corrupted billionaire that you can't even mention here on this platform, that are seeing cities that were the birthplace of liberty in this country become utter cesspools of open-air drug markets, rampant crime, and lawlessness, as Philadelphia now has been recently rebranded as Killadelphia, with now more than 750 people shot since Memorial Day. And that right there is a real-life human disaster. This, as of course the southern part of this country is dealing with a natural disaster, as Hurricane Ian is intensifying and is soon going to be impacting the western part of Florida, where of course many people are predicting some disastrous circumstances, as it's expected to become a Category 5 before making landfall. This, as of course the National Guard has been mobilized, and as people face real-life disaster, there are some discredited news pundits on the disgraced network of CNN trying to politicize this issue for their larger ideology, trying to take away from the real human tragedy here, trying to make this all about themselves and their political cause, as Don Lemon once again was silenced by a guest after trying to blame this hurricane on, quote, climate change, trying to, of course, redirect the conversation with the acting director of the National Hurricane Center that had to correct him on multiple times and essentially tell him to shut up. In unrelated human disaster news, we're finding out that a pet project of Bill Gates is taking off, as NPR is reporting specific scientific trials at the University of Washington that are injecting people with big pharma substances through mosquitoes. As we know, Bill Gates is also financing and funding a project that is currently releasing GMO mosquitoes to the south of Florida in what he calls a bid to exterminate all mosquitoes. There's another project that he's financing that will forcefully inject individuals through genetically modified mosquitoes. These are real-life trials that already happened, that were successful, with individuals placing their hands in boxes and through those mosquitoes given an experimental malaria treatment that was found to actually work through the use of mosquitoes. Yes, this is not science fiction. We were warning about this months ago. And now here we are today with the greater implications that could be disastrous for everyone, as of course potential nefarious characters could use this latest technology of GMO drug-given mosquitoes for many different nefarious reasons that we could only speculate on for now. And I'm going to be doing a deeper dive into these larger speculations and what is really happening behind the scenes, all later on today on LukeUncensored.com, our own members area, where of course we provide you an exclusive video only for members later on today. It is available in the making of this video, where specifically we're going to be talking about the larger depopulation agenda that is affecting people in more ways than one, not just through mosquito bites, but through, of course, 4th and 5th generational warfare, which we're going to be getting into and talking about later on today on our exclusive platform that also provides you merchandise that you could only get through our members area at cost, 3 master classes, a forum to to find like-minded individuals, and access to future events that will only be available for members only. All of that is available for you right now just for signing up on lukeuncensored.com. 50 cents a day. It costs barely anything, and at the same time it helps us grow and support this independent media organization. What are you waiting for? Sign up right now just by clicking the link below and getting access to this exclusive video, which is available for you right now. So at this current moment, I think it's also fair to point out that geopolitically, especially when it comes to foreign policy, things are absolutely screwed and only getting more screwed from here, especially with the latest events that we detailed in yesterday's video. There since have been a lot of updates providing more clarity into the current situation. Clarity that, of course, our current commander-in-chief is probably lacking, as he just gave a speech asking for a U.S. representative that just passed away this August. Here's the president and his latest remarks that, of course, are worrying everyone. And this is the man with the finger on the button that could literally end the world 20 times over from the latest technology that we even just know about now. What we don't know about is probably even a lot more sinister of capable weapons that could destroy the world many times over. But the latest drastic escalation was, of course, the destruction of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which Reuters is reporting the CIA was actually warning about happening to other countries just a few weeks ago. Yes, you heard that correctly. The CIA had foreknowledge. The U.S. military was conducting exercises near the Nord Stream pipeline, as of course this is not only creating a geopolitical nightmare situation, but also a huge amount of methane gas to the environment, which should have climate change alarmists screaming at the top of their lungs right now, and they're not. We have to understand that what happened here is a deliberate act of sabotage that is now guaranteeing a major chip of negotiating is officially off of the table when it comes to trying to resolve the conflict that is happening between the East and the West, between Europe and Russia. We have to understand that this is in the midst of an energy crisis that is going to severely negatively impact the poorest people in all of Europe, who of course are going to greatly suffer because of this geopolitical act of sabotage. Now, could have this been a natural disaster? Very unlikely, especially with all the data, information, and seismology reports that we're getting from other countries, as of course Russia now is cut off from providing a large portion of Europe energy, which of course is also preventing Europe from giving Russia money. Money that of course Russia is more desperate at attaining, especially because of the sanctions being launched against them. And whether this attack was carried out by a submarine or a drone or frogmen, it doesn't matter. It happened. A lot of people are saying that this was an act of self-sabotage by Russia, but that really doesn't kind of make sense here. As of course, there was also a new pipeline that was just created between Norway and Poland that goes directly over the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. And if Russia was advantageous and really wanted to make Europe suffer, they would have attacked that one, and they could have just shut off the gas themselves and didn't need to sabotage a major piece of their infrastructure, which could have alleviated a lot of pain and suffering for the people of Europe. Europe, particularly Germany, was dependent on this form of energy, and now with this pipeline's destruction, this signals some very troubling times, not just financially for the people of Europe that are already dealing with record high inflation numbers that only are going to go up from here, but particularly the larger geopolitical picture. And in yesterday's video, we highlighted how the President of the United States made a statement in February of this year guaranteeing the destruction of Nord Stream 2 if Russia invaded Ukraine. And today we have new video of the Deputy Secretary of State in January announcing a very similar action, saying that, quote, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward if Russia decides to, of course, invade Ukraine. This statement was made by Victoria Nuland, a person that even Salon, a leftist publication that usually does the bidding of the Democratic Party establishment, came out and called as a, quote, really bad idea to have her as a, quote, key player in the Biden foreign policy team, describing how she is a, quote, Cold War true believer who, quote, sabotaged Obama's foreign policy and is at a huge risk to the nation and the people of the world. And they go on and they detail how she was one of the main advisors to Dick Cheney during the horrendous treacherous actions as he was launching his war based on lies from 2003 to 2005. She was the individual that, a part of the U.S. State Department as a diplomat, particularly supervised and oversaw the 2014 Ukrainian revolution that started this larger turbulence between the West and Russia, as of course the United States was promoting, sponsoring, and taking part in a revolution in Ukraine that changed the sphere of influence from, of course, a Russian one to a Western one. As it was Victoria Nuland that was, according to Salon, plotting to replace and undermine the elected Ukrainian president at the time. We know this through, of course, leaked transcripts where she used very aggressive, uncivilized language calling for this larger transfer of power. Other foreign policy sleuths have even gone as far as to call her the chief Ukrainian coup plotter, as Truthout.org even has an article proclaiming that, quote, the Ukrainian mess that Nuland made, describing her involvement that has led to this very dangerous situation that we are currently all involved in, that many people believe could have all been avoided if she wasn't at the helm of government escalating these tensions that have led us to this very dangerous situation. There was 25 independent, officially recognized organizations internationally calling for her nomination to be rejected to be the Undersecretary of State of this country. And of course, those warnings were not heard, as she, of course, has a hand in every U.S. intervention in the past 30 years, and it looks like she's hell-bent on creating a new one, a major global one, that of course endangers the entirety of human civilization. Again, this gas pipeline sabotage has very grave implications, not just because of the energy, not just because of the financial situation, but because of how big of an escalation it is when it comes to this proxy war between the East and the West. This is an act of sabotage, and even the former Polish Ministry of Defense came out and thanked the United States, highlighting specifically a picture of the Nord Stream pipeline leaking into the environment, causing, of course, according to the official story, dangerous climate change gases that, of course, will be severely affecting the world. Now, of course, Russia has other pipelines that are not as capable as providing that much gas into Europe. One of them goes through Poland. Another one goes through, of course, the Black Sea. And two other ones, of course, go through Ukraine, where there is a current conflict still unfolding. But with the way that things have been escalating, with people being conscripted in Russia to go fight for this insane, reckless foreign policy proxy war, with Russia now hosting more elections, more territory being contested, with Russian and Chinese warships being spotted in Alaska, with peace deals being turned down by Western powers, negotiations declined, diplomacy foregone. How far will the neoconservative lunatics go? Well, only time will tell, but of course nothing is stopping from them pushing, calling for and escalating this situation, which I think is an absolutely stupid one. If you agree with me, sharing this video with your friends, family members, random strangers, promoting it to your social media means more than almost everything else, as of course the algorithm isn't playing favors to, of course, this channel and the larger messaging that we have here that contradicts, of course, the corporate media, which they prioritize, which they promote over anything else. We're living in an insane situation that is surely about to get a lot more insane. If you disagreed with anything that I had to say in this video or any of my perspectives or opinions, let me know why down in the comment section below. I always appreciate constructive criticism. I always appreciate the ability to be able to hear and listen to other voices and other perspectives that I wouldn't be naturally privy to. And I wish more people had that perspective. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. This is why I love you guys. Stay tuned here for more on wearechange.org. One more video right now available for you on lukeuncensored.com. See you there.